At Corumdale Farm. Today I'm talking all about sunflowers. So I'm going to talk about direct sowing sunflowers, starting sunflowers from seed, and planting out transplants. I want to show you what I'm doing here in the field, but also what's going on in the raised garden. I direct sowed a bunch of sunflowers in a floristy type mix that I had in my seed collection in the raised garden, which I'll show you at the end of the video how they're doing. I also wanted to try direct sowing here in the flower field as an experiment to see how it does. A raised garden versus out in an open field are very different conditions. They have different bug pressure, different animal pressure even of what's going to come out here in the field. And instead of direct sowing a lot of really expensive sunflowers all at once, I wanted to test a small amount. And I'm going to zoom you in here and show you how that first experiment went. I direct sowed from one wooden stake to the other, and as you can see, there are a lot of empty holes. There are empty holes for two reasons I've seen. One, just didn't germinate. I don't know if it rotted, it got too wet in our clay soil, or what happened, but it just didn't germinate. Or it got topped. So it started, it germinated, and some type of bug came in, removed the two leaves, and that's it for the seedling. It has no more leaves to bring food down to the plant, and so it's not going to grow. I would say there's at least 20 holes with nothing in it. So some did grow, which I'm very excited about seeing, but to have 20 not germinate is terrible for expensive sunflower seeds, terribly low germination rate. So I learned direct sowing out here, especially this year, is a no-go. So I needed to start seeds inside. 2 weeks ago, I started these seeds indoors. There's two different varieties. I'll put the pictures and names on the screen. I think it's Horizon and Provence, but I'm not positive. I'll put it on the screen. But two different varieties. These are from the Procut series from Johnny Seeds. Procut means typically there is no pollen. So these are fantastic sunflowers to put in bouquets or to sell to florists because they're not going to drop pollen onto your table and stain and make a mess. A lot of the branching sunflowers you see are the big ones you can grow in your garden. Those all have pollen, and if you cut them and bring inside, they're going to make an absolute mess. So it's not great for selling flowers. Procuts, pollenless, fantastic. So I have, these are 72 count trays. I started them all. I think I got 100% germination, maybe 99% germination, which is way better than I showed you here in the field. So I'm going to pop these out. I'm going to get them planted. We're in Oklahoma. It is either a threat of a tornado or hail or wind or 3 inches of rain. It seems like every other day. So there doesn't seem to be a stretch of period in the weather when it's an ideal time to plant out seedlings. We've got a storm coming tonight, but if I continue to wait, we're just gonna have another storm. So I'm a little nervous, but these guys are just gonna have to be tough if I'm gonna grow flowers here. So let's get them in the ground. We got all the sunflowers planted, 2 varieties, about 140. There were some casualties in the field. We snapped a couple, overly aggressive smashing them in, but that's okay. We got 140 in. I'm gonna pray that the storm is gentle on them and they get rooted in and start standing up a little straighter and get going. I'm in the raised garden now because I wanted to show you here at the end of the video just some slow pan shots of my sunflowers that I direct sowed that are just growing so well. I planted them mainly along the long sections of the raised garden to grow up tall and almost be like a living fence for additional shade and just some boundary creating height in the garden. So we'll pan around. I'll be updating you throughout the summer on how my sunflowers are doing. I plan to plant about 140 every 2 weeks from now through July, because I should be able to, at the end of July, still harvest those before our first frost. So if things go well, I should just be pumping out hundreds and hundreds of sunflowers at the farm. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you want pollenless sunflowers that don't make a mess, you can get the Procut type. I got mine at Johnny's Seeds, but you can get them at Sunflower Selections. You typically cannot get them at like a nursery or a Lowe's. It's a little more specialty than those. But if you just want branching sunflowers, giant sunflowers, there is still plenty of time to get them sowed pretty much almost in all zones. So I hope you enjoyed this video all about sunflowers. Bye! That was nice. I hope that came up in the camera.